Well, good morning. Thank you all for your patience on this nice, cool morning, crisp morning. I'm Mayor Ralph Becker, and I'm very pleased today to announce a proposal from Salt Lake City in conjunction with Utah Transit Authority and our other partners that we think will be exciting for our residents and will do great have a great effort to improve air quality and improve our quality of life in Salt Lake City. I'm going to be speaking, then we'll be hearing from City Council member Stan Penfold, from Utah Transit Authority General Manager Mike Allegra, from Aaron Mendenhall, who's with Breathe Utah, Roger Borjnik, who's been active in the community for many years relating to transportation and other actions, and from Marty Carpenter from the Salt Lake City Chamber. Today we are announcing a transit pass program for all of the residents of Salt Lake City. This is a proposal that we will be presenting to our City Council in the next couple of weeks, and we hope to embark on in early 2014 pending City Council consideration and action. This is as far as we know, is the first of its kind in the country, where every resident of Salt Lake City, as a major metropolitan area, will have access to reduced fares that are comparable to the reduced fare program that is now available through large employers like Salt Lake City. We offer transit passes to our employees that we pay for. The basic structure of the program is that residents of the city will be able to apply for a resident pass. It will be $30 a month. That would be the equivalent of getting paid off with 6 round trips a year on transit. It will apply to almost the entire system, as does UTA's other large employer and large organization programs for buses, light rail, and front runner, and for the coming streetcar as well. We're also setting this up in a way we hope will be very convenient for all of the residents of Salt Lake City, in that they will be able to sign on to the program and pay it as part of their utility bill, their water utility bill, on a monthly basis. So we're trying to make it convenient, accessible, and of course provide for a much more cost-effective way for all of our residents to be able to gain access and use transit more easily. We of course know, as we're going into the winter season, this is the toughest time of year for all of us in terms of air quality. We hope our residents will jump on and take advantage of the Transit Pass program, and we'll be setting up that program and hoping that the council will consider it shortly. The leader on the council for us in sponsoring this program will be Stan Penfold. So I'm going to turn time over to Stan and then to the other speakers. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be the City Council sponsor of this really innovative partnership between Salt Lake City and UTA. Residents have clearly told us that they care about our air, and our air is the responsibility of all of us. And our residents have also clearly sent the message they're willing to pay to do something about it. And what people want are options for getting out of their cars. And this is a huge step in providing options for anybody who lives in Salt Lake City with a really easy and convenient opportunity to take transit instead of taking their car. One of the things that's important in air quality is that we all do what we can because every little bit helps, no matter how minor it seems. So even combinations of trips with cars and transit passes will help reduce or improve our air quality, in particular when we are so challenged in the winter and summer months. This is a great option for the people of Salt Lake City. I'm truly thrilled about this partnership and this opportunity, and I'd like to thank UTA for being creative and flexible and innovative, and I'd like to thank the administration for looking at how they're going to bring this program to the council with the proposal that I truly hope makes it easy and convenient for all of our residents, and in particular affordable. The council, when I take this to the council, I'll be asking the council to consider this program, and I'll also be asking them to consider funding a component of this program because for Salt Lake City, it's an exceptional deal to get people out of their cars. So thank you everybody who's been involved in this initiative.
I know it's chilly out there, so I'm going to talk really fast. I'm Mike Allegra, the General Manager of the Utah Transit Authority. We are so excited today. This is a milestone that many have been working on for a long, long time. We've been talking about this, and I so much appreciate the partnership between Salt Lake City, UTA, and all those that have worked on this to come to this fruition. As the mayor has said, as best I can tell, this is the only program of its kind in the country right now. We have educational passes, we have eco passes, and now the first ever, I call it Res Pass, if you will. So we're really blanketing the markets to try to encourage people to get out of their cars, ride transit, and it's truly a great pillar to this notion of getting people on transit, getting out of your cars, and improving our air quality programs out there. We certainly have a big effect on air quality. Every bus that's on the street that's full takes 15 tons of air pollution out of the air, 300 tons of pollution or greenhouse gases. Our light rail vehicles do 6 times that. And so by people choosing to ride transit really gives them that opportunity. And our goal is a pass in every pocket. And so through our Eco, Ed, and now Res Passes, we have that opportunity to get people that convenience of hopping on and off transit as easy it is to use your car. So we're very appreciative of this pilot program that we have out there. Again, it's the first of its kind. We may have a couple of bumps, but I'm certain with the help and cooperation of the city council, and our staffs, we can work through all of this. We hope it'll come online in the next couple of months, get approvals of the city council and the UTA board, and make this happen and available for this community. As you know, it's not just about air quality, it's economic development. As you look around here, Intermountain facility over there, built next to this track station here. And so it's all part of that program to improve and maintain that quality of life that we have here in our community. We've done some other air quality programs. Our CNG bus just pulled up. We have 24 of them coming to Utah. We hope in the next couple of years to have a couple of 100 CNG buses. We're very appreciative of the Ride Clear program. Zions Bank sponsored that program this summer and got significant number of cars off the roads and pollutants out of our air. So we're doing quite a few things to help in this arena of air quality, and this pass in every program really is one of those initiatives that we feel really good about our partnerships. It will be eligible for other cities as well that want to get into this as we go through the details and establish this. This is the first, but we hopefully will see many more of these coming. So again, appreciative of Salt Lake City, their vision, the tenacity of doing this, making it happen, and letting people have those choices to get on transit, ride our buses and trains, and help clean up our air. So thank you very much.
Good morning. It's a great day to be a Salt Lake City resident. I rode my bike here this morning and it was cold. I can't wait to start using a transit pass more often. Every single day, millions of driving decisions account for more than half of the pollution along the Wasatch Front. Salt Lake County earned another grade of F from the American Lung Association's latest State of Our Air report for both ozone, our summertime pollutant, and PM 2.5 24-hour pollution, our wintertime pollutant. Our health and our local economy are damaged by our pollution, and at the top of that list of contributors is the car-centric culture we have created. As advocates for clean air, Breathe Utah has worked as partners with both Salt Lake City and UTA on various initiatives and programs such as Smart Trips, which is a neighborhood-based program designed to encourage and enable residents to use active transportation and public transportation more often. But time and again, we have heard from citizens that they want to help improve our air quality and are ready to make a change toward greater use of public transportation, but that the financial barrier is too great, that getting in their car is simply cheaper than getting on the bus. Today we have an answer for those Salt Lake City residents who care about our air and are willing to make that lasting behavioral change that will make a difference to the air that we breathe. For less than $1 a day, Salt Lake City residents can have unlimited access to UTA's entire network of transportation options. An annual transit pass is a better means to the cultural driving shift that we need than past suggestions of free rides on red air days or even the free trips during January and July. An unlimited annual commitment to riding transit helps us as residents establish a lasting commuter transit relationship. In addition, increased ridership and funding for UTA will enable them to make the expansions necessary to meet those needs for better coverage and increased frequency. We recognize that mobile source contributors go beyond Salt Lake City boundaries, and therein I hope that this program may serve as a pilot for municipalities all along the Wasatch Front and an example to inspire even greater innovation and collaborations in the future as we work to improve our air. Thanks Salt Lake City and UTA for your collaboration and finding a solution to what has been a very real barrier for Salt Lake City residents.
Good morning. I'm Roger Borganick, co-chair of Utahns for Better Transportation, that has been working for almost a couple of decades now to make sure that as we grow, we will have a balanced transportation system. That we will have cars, but we will also have, as we always said, convenient, reliable, and affordable transit and bikeways that are safe and active transportation. And we've made incredible strides in this city and in this region. But I think today is a very exciting kind of policy and program that can really give that affordability to people saying, yes, I can take transit, and convenience and reliability. Reliability is there. We have a large area to be convenient to. But the incentive of a $30 a month pass, $1 a day, is the kind of incentive that has been shown around the country and around the world to change behavior, to move from what we've done for 50 years, build our lifestyles and our communities around the automobile, and that's beginning to shift. The bike momentum is unstoppable. The transit backbone that we've built in this region is strong, and we'll continue to improve that with buses and vans and bus rapid transit. So I think that linkage with the transit, especially in the winter, where some of us won't bike. I bike to work probably 9 out of 10 days. I didn't today because I needed my car for a trip, but otherwise I ride. I used to take the bus, and I probably will during the winter with this kind of incentive built in, because it is incentives and disincentives that affect our behavior. So this is a wonderful piece of the puzzle that is being put in place, and I certainly applaud Mayor Becker and Stan Penfold to take it to the City Council, and Mike Allegra. We're on our way. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. My name is Marty Carpenter, and it's my pleasure to be here representing the Salt Lake Chamber and the 7,700 businesses that we represent. And for the 44 or so members of our staff, where we do, Mike, have a pass in every pocket, we're very excited about the announcement today. In the time I've been with the Chamber, I've learned that there are two things that businesses in our state really love. The first is a great deal that comes together so that everyone wins, and the second is finding a way to maximize a return on investment. This agreement between Salt Lake City and the UTA will further increase an already strong level of ridership and will help more Salt Lake City residents utilize a world-class transportation system. As for maximizing a return on investment, that usually makes people think of that bottom line, the dollar amount, the profit, if you will. That's not always the case, though. The return on our investment with our transit system and the significant investment we've made in transit over the past 7 years or so is even greater than that. It touches our transportation policy, relieves pressure on our roads, and helps us invest our money more wisely. The Chamber's Utah Transportation Coalition is committed to continuing our investment in our transportation system, including our transit system. It touches our energy policy. It improves our energy consumption. It touches air quality by putting fewer tailpipes into action. And those fewer tailpipes mean cleaner air. And that cleaner air is a bigger attraction for businesses and top talent across the country that want to come to Salt Lake City. And of course, it touches our health. Cleaner air means better overall health, and that helps contain the cost of health care for residents in our state. So this is a winning deal for Salt Lake City, and it's a winning deal for business, and it's a winning deal for all residents along the Wasatch Front. The Chamber wants to applaud Mayor Becker for his leadership, and Mike Allegra and his great team at UTA for all they're doing to make transit such an important part of our lives here and a more efficient way for us to move around our state. We applaud them all for coming together with a really innovative idea to move Utah forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We'll open this up to questions, but let me just mention, as was mentioned by Councilmember Penfold, this is an idea that was generated by one of our staff in Salt Lake City. It has taken 2 or 3 years of some tremendous cooperation and work by UTA and by Salt Lake City staff to figure out what seems like a simple idea, but like many ideas, when you try to work out the details of it, involves a lot of tough decisions and tough issues to work through. So I thank all of our staff, really, who've worked so hard on this, both at UTA and Salt Lake City. Obviously, we're looking forward to our City Council's consideration of this, and hopefully early this winter, January, February timeframe, if they're able to consider it and take some final action on it, we'll make available to our Salt Lake City residents a reduced fare transit program for everyone in the community. That, be happy to try to answer questions and invite others to join me on that.
The city that's going to eat it tonight, pass are offering it for $30. I mean, does that mean that the city is essentially paying UTA $60 per person per month? I mean, how much is this going to cost taxpayers?
The costs for Salt Lake City are actually limited at this point with the proposal in front of this that will be in front of the City Council to the cost of administration. And I want to hear what makes you. So it's about $150,000. So that's the cost for Salt Lake City to administer the program, make it available through our utility bills, and to track our residents and provide the passes to residents. This is not different, as I mentioned before, from the current UTA pass program for large employers. We're just extending it to all of the residents of Salt Lake City. So there's, under the proposal before the council, and we'll see how the council wants to address this, there is not a Salt Lake City subsidy beyond the benefit for UTA and Salt Lake City of a larger number of folks using a pass program. So this is very similar. It's patterned after the large employer pass program that UTA uses now. And I'll invite UTA folks to correct me on that or add to it.
So they just essentially offer it, UTA offers it at a discount and essentially eats the $60 a month cost.
$30 a month.
Well, it's $30 for a resident, but isn't it a $90 a month pass on a regular? I mean,
Yeah, this is a greatly reduced fare because we're spreading out the cost among many, many people.
So UTA then eats the $60 a month.
No, I'll let UTA answer that if you want to, Mike.
You know, this is predicated, and again, a demonstration program, predicated on taking some risk that will get significant number of pass users to purchase this program. And so we've calculated that it needs to be somewhere over 6,000 pass holders that are buying this program, and it becomes a revenue neutral program at that point. Past that, it becomes ridership positive for us. So there aren't any subsidies associated with this program, assuming we can get to those targets that we're talking about.
So if you hit a 6,000 pass, then you're fine with it. If
Yep.
it doesn't hit 6,000, you may cancel it.
And that's part of the demonstration that I'll have to evaluate through the year effort that we're going through.
Michael, can I try this again? Because I'm not following it. So let me ask it this way. So UTA is only going to collect $30 a person, nothing more, right? Is that the way
The charge is identical to the Eco Pass program that we have for all major employers in the valley.
But don't
2/3 of those,
subsidize that cost?
they may be subsidizing them, but we still get the $360 a year. So it's the same rate, same kind of offer, Salt Lake City or Eco Pass programs, okay? So the Eco Pass program right now, there are a variety of rates, different levels, and I don't need to get into all the details. This is the highest premium rate that we're charging for Eco Pass users right now. Again, employers may cross-subsidize those and give those passes out for less. That's their prerogative, if you will, okay? Salt Lake City's contributions right now are fundamentally to administer the program, but also to carry the risk, because we're collecting the $360 for the year once that person signs up.
Okay.
Mayor
Does that answer
Becker?
your question? Okay.
It really doesn't. You guys.
Well,
But
this-
I'm going to work on this later.
Okay. So this is really the same as an Eco Pass program. We're just extending it to all the residents of Salt Lake
But
City.
Mayor, let me ask you this. I always thought EcoPass was something that companies subsidize for their employees. So I guess we're wondering, is the city subsidizing the cost of the pass?
The residents are paying the cost of the pass. In a place like Salt Lake City has an Eco Pass, we pay for all of our employees' passes. In this case, the residents will be paying the cost of that pass. So it's the same thing. It's just that each resident will be paying for the pass rather than the large employer. And large employers have all kinds of different programs. Some of them fully subsidized, like Salt Lake City. Some of them pay part. I imagine there's some different rates depending on levels of participation that you see. So there's a full range of things. This is intended to be cost neutral, assuming a level of participation by Salt Lake City residents. And we won't know until we start the program, you know, how that shakes out.
This is such a good deal, Mayor. Wouldn't you expect more than 6,000 people to maybe sign up for it?
This is our best estimate going in, you know, and I think we'll just have to see how it, you know, assuming that the council adopts it, we'll just have to see how it works, and we'll adapt as we go along.
I don't know if this is a question for UTA, but because of something like this, other cities hearing about this, is this something that other cities may be
Sure.
opening up the door, or why can't others in Salt Lake County take advantage of something?
Absolutely. As I mentioned in my remarks, this is a demonstration. There are a lot of details to work through, but our intent is to have it applicable to other communities as well. So as we get through this and make sure it's tracking the way we want to, again, our goal is to get a pass in everybody's pocket, okay? And so this type of new residential program hasn't been done before that I'm aware of in this country. So lots of issues, lots of bugs, and we're confident we can work through those. And the intent is to make it applicable and available to all other communities up and down the Wasatch Front.
And just like every employer program may be a little different, every community's program with UTA would be a little different. We've spent many months trying to work through and estimate what would be an appropriate fare level and given ridership considerations, all those kinds of things. And I would guess that UTA would have to go through a similar sort of analysis with any other city that wanted to come forward. It would be great, I think, if everyone could end up getting a pass program like this, and we're happy to pilot it and experiment with it.
But I guess that's what my question is, why doesn't it just open up to everybody? Why can't everybody just pay $30? I mean, because the city apparently is not paying any money to subsidize that extra $60 a month.
Well, the city is is actually paying money to make the program available to our residents. Pretty substantial. $150,000 by my count is a fair amount of money of what we're paying to set up the program. But the other part of that is that we've gone through a very detailed analysis over a long period of time now, many months, with UTA to determine what we can expect in terms of ridership from Salt Lake City residents, to give our best estimate of the level of participation and therefore what the pass cost would be per month. And that may vary from community to community depending on what the service is there and expected levels of participation. I may be wrong there, but I think those have been some of the major elements in trying to figure out the program for Salt Lake City. My own view is it'd be great if every community could and would be willing to step forward and do something similar. And as I said, we're piloting. We'll experiment with the program, and
Mr.
hopefully
Mayor,
it'll work.
So you're going to get an initial bank of 6,000 of these passes. So do you have to pay UTA up front for those passes? And if you don't sell all 6,000, what happens? Do you get stuck with the difference?
I'm going to let someone else who is involved, Robin, or you, or someone from UTA can answer. Why don't you come forward and answer this? So Robin Hutchison, our transportation director, who is heavily involved, as you can imagine, in this, can answer that question.
To answer the question, we've arranged with the Utah Transit Authority to pay on a quarterly basis for the number of passes that have been sold by Salt Lake City to the residents. So there is no upfront of a certain minimum of passes. We pay as we go, quarter by quarter.
And so is it truly, then if you sell less than 6,000, you're not penalized? And is it truly unlimited? That is to say, if you sell 6,000 and need more, can you do that?
I think the hope is that it is a minimum of 6,000 and that we do sell more.
But if you don't sell 6,000, does the city eat the difference?
That's part of the beauty of the partnership, is that because this is a pilot and we're embarking on this together, part of UTA's offer to us is that we're sharing the risk, and no, we will not have to eat the cost of passes that are not sold.
Then, if this is cost neutral, then it still begs the question: then is UTA's fares then artificially high if you're saying it's cost neutral for the city? If nobody's getting subsidized, if UTA isn't getting paid $60 per person per month for an eco pass or something, does that mean that what everybody else is paying, if you don't live in Salt Lake City, you're paying a grossly inflated price?
I'm going to let UTA answer this because they can answer it better, but I'll just tell you what my understanding is, and then they can correct me. I can tell you for Salt Lake City, when we buy annual passes for all of our employees, what we do is we, with UTA, calculate the number of employees who will be using the pass and the number of trips that will be taken, and how that level of really increased ridership helps offset the cost of what would be a fare, an individual fare. And so we end up with basically a calculation, and it gets adjusted over time to reflect what those actual costs are and savings are because of increased ridership, because we pay for a free pass. In this case, residents, we think by offering a reduced pass, we'll have more residents using the system, and that will offset some of the. Does that make sense to you? But I'll let UTA correct me now, because that's just my understanding of the way it works.
Well, let me just add this. This is just like all of our other bulk pass programs. Again, I've mentioned the educational pass program. We have them at most every major educational institution in Utah, University of Utah being the biggest bulk pass program. Eco passes are the same kinds of concepts where you get a lot of people buying into the program and then you try to market it at the appropriate rate. At the end of the day, our goal is to get 25% of the cost of the service covered by the fare box, which includes these passes. So the 6,000 number was our best educated guess at what we would need to do to break even. Hopefully, and arguably, we're going to do better than that. But again, this hasn't been done nationally, and so we're taking an initiative here that we think makes a lot of sense and do want to make it applicable to other cities, but we need to see how it works. So again, I think the bulk program part of it is the answer to why we're offering it at this rate.
More people riding means that you can reduce fares because you have more people riding, so you're
Certainly.
generating the same amount of money just
Right.
with more people.
That's right.
Okay?
There, you got it. Thank you.
Economics.
It is. Anything else we can answer, or we can go to some individual?
It's like supply side, maybe, right? Supply side economics.
Well, it's pretty basic economics, but you can call it supply or demand. It's supply and demand, I think. So, any other questions? Thank you all for joining us. So we'll look forward to the council consideration and hopefully launching the program.